rush inside, and he fights it every day. He took a fall when the demons called, too broke up to run away. A little push and fades to black, at least that's what they say. Another city night alone, that's where I found you on my own. In my head you made a home inside. I was blind to think that you could save me from what I've been through, but now I know that you want me to die. Maybe I just can't help myself, I drag my life through so much hell. Maybe I could use a little help today. But every time I try to make up of mistakes that I have made, sometimes I wish I could fade away. I know this friend of mine who loves to rhyme and writes his life away. He needs to feel the rush inside, and he fights it every day. He took a fall when the demons called, too broke up to run away. A little push and fades to black, at least that's what they say. Yeah, I'm trying to recollect the time when my mind fell out, and it was way before the 40s and the dimes fell out. Was always nervous round the shorties, beer and wine and help. But every sip I took, I tried to try something else. I graduated to new, we're bigger, we're better, different, till I broke my leg at school and the doc gave me a prescription. I tried to keep it cool, but see my brain it wouldn't listen. Now I'm headed to the Yucca, mixed it with getting twisted. Before I took that trip was at a party with a friend, talk about when we were kids and all the rules we used to bend. It was right around that time I think the cops had busted in. We both thrusted out the back, the bus would run like the wind, cause I didn't notice Eric ran in the other direct. Hopped in the car to save his girl, but then he got in a wreck. After he died, I think I moved to try to help me forget, but was about to lose it all after a soul disconnect. I've been beaten down, mental, I'm a physical wreck. Emotionally a boiled kettle, love filled with regret. Detoxing out and lost, it wasn't helping me yet. This life was gonna cost me mine, so I had to step. You never get it past if you don't let it go. Just so it won't last and just reset it. Oh, you want some credit for lying on your bed? Just know if you can't get it this time, you might be dead. I know this friend of mine who loves to rhyme and writes his life away. He needs to feel the rush inside, and he fights it every day. He took a fall when the demons called, too broke up to run away. A little push and fades to black, at least that's what they say. Alright guys, so we're gonna come to the last song, and you know where my journey has taken a huge turn, and that was 2016. I was, you know, in and out of institutions in Boston, and you know, I had the opportunity to go away for rehab once again. You know, a good buddy of mine who I played college hockey with was like the last person other than my family who hadn't given up on me. He was going to put me in treatment where he was. And my parents drove me to the airport. It was January 22nd. It was a Friday, 2016, a Friday morning. I remember the date, and I remember, you know, the day of the week, because it just ended up being like where my bottom met my parents and the rest of my family and friends. And, you know, my father dropped me and my mother off at curbside check-in, and he went to go park, and my mother probably having a sigh of relief that, like, maybe this time Michael will get it. Maybe this time I will get my son back. And she's not thinking like how sick of a person I am at that time. And like I said, Ma, I gotta go use the bathroom, and I went, and my father comes back and he sees that I'm not with my mother, and he asks where I am, and he said as soon as he asked that question, he saw 2 state police officers running towards the bathroom. And he goes, I just know it was you. And he ran after those police officers and ran into the bathroom and found his then 37-year-old son
lying on the floor with my head against the toilet, completely blue, not breathing, overdosed from shot heroin. Had to do what no father should have to do, is like get down on his hands and knees while people are screaming, running out of the bathroom at rush hour on a Friday morning at an international airport and give his son CPR, but that's what he did. And by the grace of God and my father and emergency service workers, I was able to live through that, But it still took me another 5 months and moving to New Jersey till I was able to really have a complete change of mind, body, and spirit. That pain, those consequences, it tells us in our literature that the shame, the guilt, the pain, and the suffering from even a week before, from even that crime that I just committed, for those 5 years that I just did in prison, that's not sufficient enough to keep me sober. There has to be more. So, what I've been able to do since I came to New Jersey on June 27th, 2016. My sober date is June 28th, 2016, and I went to treatment for a year. I only say that for one reason, because I'm telling the horror of my story leading up to now, and how it was impossible for me to get 3 days or 3 months or whatever sober, and by taking suggestions. And I told my counselor at the first rehab that I went to Alina Lodge, which is in it's in the middle of nowhere, in the woods, in New Jersey, and I was left there for 350 days with me and 30 other guys just as crazy as me. It was not a good look, but it ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me. Then I went to the Milestone House, then I went to New Pathways, then I went to CARES, and then I went to Rest Stop Rejuvenate, and I became a certified peer recovery specialist, and working my program, my fellowship, and getting involved in the community. And I met a dear friend of mine, Vicki Mulligan, who was putting on, her and the Partnership for Drug-Free New Jersey put on a contest called the Knockout Opioid Abuse Songwriting Contest. And I entered a song into it, and I just happened to win. And it was the most humbling experience. I've performed in really big stages and different parts of the country, in active addiction. Nothing compared to that. Nothing compares to this. Because this is real, this is tangible. The song is called I Stand at the Door.